it's live at the Minnesota State Fair here on KUMD.
Hey, it is so exciting to be here. Maya Jensen here, just bringing you so many people who are here at the fair. Of course, we can't bring you all of them. We're bringing you some top picks. And joining me, I actually have a couple people joining me here. I have Mark Bartell from Frost River, who's at the Save the Boundary Waters booth, along with Sam Chadwick, joining us here to talk about Save the Boundary Waters. And their booth is in the Dairy Building. They're here for the whole fair, and it's so exciting. Hey, welcome.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Well, tell us about Save the Boundary Waters, because this is a big organization.
Yeah, Save the Boundary Waters was started just about 2 years ago to get out ahead and protect the Boundary Waters area, the edge of the wilderness, from sulfide or copper mining.
From sulfide or copper mining. So that's a threat that's in the works. Why does it need protecting?
Yeah, so Twin Metals is proposing to build a massive copper mine right on the Kawishtawi River and Birch Lake, where the water flows into the wilderness. And it's a risky type of mining that's never been done in Minnesota before, and causes pollution and destruction across the country where it is done.
So this is an enormous education effort.
It is. People love the Boundary Waters, and that's what we're finding at the fair for sure. But a lot of people don't know that this threat is out there, and they also aren't really aware what they can do to help. So that's what we're working on.
So you're meeting and seeing a lot of people at the fair.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's really exciting. We do a lot of events, but nothing has kind of the volume and excitement of the fair.
But you really have been out and about. Tell us about some of the ways that you're getting the word out about Save the Boundary Waters.
Well, one thing we really try to do is bring the stories locally from around Ely, where we were founded, to our decision makers. So we've been bringing people out, faces out to Washington, D.C. every month for 2 years to ask our federal decision makers to permanently protect the watershed of the Boundary Waters. So that's one way. We also do fun projects we call adventure advocacy.
And that really mirrors what you get when you go to the Boundary Waters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're about sharing the story of what this beautiful place is about, to so many paddlers and campers, as well as what we need to do to save it.
And it's enormous. The Boundary Waters is like a huge place. Talk about the Year in Wilderness. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, so we have some fabulous volunteers who have worked with us, Dave and Amy Freeman. They're explorers who work as guides in the Boundary Waters. They undertook a journey from Ely to Washington, D.C. last year. They paddled and sailed all the way there to bring the message to Washington to save the Boundary Waters. And now this year, just in a few weeks, they're heading into the wilderness, and they're going to stay there for a whole year.
Wow. And you know that there's going to be people coming by and seeing them a little bit, but what a wild adventure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they'll meet people in the wilderness, but they'll also be able to share some of their experiences, through social media with the outside world to show people what a beautiful place this is.
Well, you've also had some really great partners. You have 19 organizations that have teamed up with you that are part of the Save the Boundary Waters, including, what's the Friends of the Boundary Waters that you hear about in Duluth?
Yep, exactly. And many local, state-based partners, but also national organizations that work on wilderness preservation across the country. So building a big movement.
Right. Thanks, Sam. We want to pull in Mark here. Mark is from Duluth as well and is at the booth all day, Save the Boundary Waters booth in the Dairy Building. And tell us a little bit about you. You're with Frost River, and you guys partnered with Save the Boundary Waters on more than one thing.
Yeah, we got involved with them initially because we heard they were doing this bike tour, this 800-mile bike tour, and they needed some gear, and we were happy to donate some gear. And then over time, we just became more deeply invested in what they do, because our business relies a lot on those Boundary Waters travelers.
That's the thing. Before you go to the Boundary Waters, all you're thinking about is your gear.
Right.
And then once you get there, as long as you did it right, then it's just the wilderness. But if you don't, then you're thinking about your gear still. So Frost River makes every kind of backpack you can imagine. Mm-hmm. I love that one that you had on today.
Oh, good. Yeah, well, the old High Falls pack. You'll need one of those.
You're the product manager.
Yes, I'm the product manager. So basically, what that entails is I do a lot of design. I have a good say in what we make, what we don't make. calls in materials, calls in how things are done, so on and so forth.
Do you have to test it out in the Boundary Waters? Do you have to go out and test the wares?
As a official function at work, it doesn't get to happen too often because we're too busy. But individually, we all have plenty of experience in the Boundary Waters. We've all used our gear quite often. Yeah.
So for me, the thing that is iconic about Frost River is that material that your backpacks are made of. What is it? And tell us about that.
It's a cotton duck canvas, but what's special about it is it's wax impregnated, so that's a water-resistant material. So it has all the characteristics of a modern fabric.
I thought you were going to say duck.
Quack. I'll tell you the duck joke later. But so it has those characteristics of a modern fabric, and it's a fabric's been made for pushing 200 years, and it's just always had that, and it's the signature part of what we do.
Well, thanks for joining us. It is SaveTheBoundaryWaters.org. Right? SaveTheBoundaryWaters.org. And Sam and Mark, thank you so much for joining us here on KUMD today at the fair.
Thanks
Have
for
a
having
great
us.
fair.
Yeah, okay, we'll do.
And this is Maya here, live at the Minnesota State Fair.
Thank you, Maya. 103.3 KUMD is live at the Minnesota State Fair thanks to our community partners, Duluth Grill, Electric Fetus, Pizza Luce, and the Great Lakes Aquarium. 7 minutes after